So welcome to the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting for December 21st. We'll follow the agenda as was outlined in the issue that was opened in the repo, which was issue 1321. Before we get going, does anybody have any announcements they'd like to share? Okay, if not, we can move on to the agenda. And the first thing...
I'm sorry, I guess in the announcements, it might be worth mentioning that there's a call for speakers out for OpenJS World that just got announced this week, I think.
Yeah, I think if maybe even yesterday.
Yeah, that's probably worth throwing in there. And now I'll shut up and let you get to the agenda.
Okay, so sounds good. Okay, so moving on to the agenda. Any CPC updates, Rich, this week?
No, I didn't make the meeting. I don't suppose you did.
I think it was canceled, this one.
Oh, that's right. No, it's canceled. And so you're canceled through January. You're right. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't. That's why. Yes. No, so there's no CPC updates.
Okay. Okay, meeting canceled. Okay, so we'll move on. The first issue on the agenda is doc change fetch from experimental to stable. That's 456844. I think last time on that one, we agreed we should wait till a meeting where we have Mateo, so we should probably do that again.
Yeah, and Robert also.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so then the next one on the agenda is stream expose symbols 45671. I think, Antoine, you were the one who put that on the agenda?
Yeah, to give a bit of context, so it's a PR opened by Robert to expose some internal stream APIs. And so currently on the PR, it's using symbol 4 to make some of the internal properties accessible for for username module. So he's doing it for readable stream, but it would be accessible for any username module. And so I guess the question is, are we okay having such API accessible like that if we are not documenting them? I added it to the agenda because there was also Dashan who seemed to align, and that's a question worth asking. And added it to the agenda so folks can give their opinion, or maybe we can discuss it if someone has an opinion.
So in terms of the context, I think, like, if I read it correctly, it's being added so that something else in streams can use it, but we're not documenting it because it's not necessarily meant for end users or something like that.
Yeah, I guess that's why. Yeah.
So I did see there was some discussion in there about using like strings or something other than symbols, but is the fundamental question just whether we should expose it if it's not, we don't want to document it because we don't want people to actually use it.
Yeah, and if we are exposing it, where
just one second. Yeah. I'm not sticking out. Okay, hold on. Just a sec, I gotta move the car.
All right. So I guess also the question is, if we are exposing it like this, where as a server rules, where should it fit? If we make change to this, would it be server major if it's a breaking change or not?
I mean, if it's exposed, somebody somewhere is going to find a reason to use it.
Yeah. Then it should be documented, I guess.
That's my opinion. I kind of feel like Colin has an opinion on this.
Yeah, I feel like if we're creating global public symbols under the node.js namespace, that we need to document them and follow Semver with them. Because if somebody starts using them and then we take them away, people's code's going to break.
Yeah, and I guess I'd ask, like, why wouldn't we, right?
Yeah.
I don't have any good reason to explain that.
Yeah, and Robert is not on the call, so I am not able to answer.
Okay, so maybe we should take it back to the issue and leave it on the agenda until next time, where we might have Ruben.
I get one other thing, I guess, to point out, because I haven't really looked at this issue until now, but it calls out interop with things like readable stream. And so, readable stream is very heavily dependent on, but it's also vendored into other runtimes like Dino. So this has, if we don't follow Semver rules there, we have the potential to break not only our own users, but other runtime users.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so I'm going to say any other thoughts or comments we should do on this one before we, I think otherwise we could close with, take the discussion back to the issue and leave on the agenda until we have Ruben at a meeting, right?
Yeah, that's good. It would be Robert rather than.
Oh, sorry, Robert. Okay.
Other.
Okay, that sounds good. So then the next one is expose NDT's proxy agent and set global dispatcher within Node. I think, let me double check, but I think that was one of the ones we said we should defer as well until we had Matteo at a meeting. So. Right. Yeah, I think that's the case. So unless there's something, does somebody have something they want to add or discuss on that one? Otherwise, I'd suggest we do the same thing this time. Okay, so that takes us to the end of the agenda. We can take a look at the strategic initiatives. So Joy, I know you've already started to fill in some info on startup performance. You want to just give a short update on that?
I landed the pull request to finish up the startup regression fix. It's not really a optimization, more like a regression fix. And then Anna opened the pull request to add snapshot support in the embedded API. I think that's all for the past week.
Okay, that's great. I don't have any update on Next 10 this week. Antoine, any update on the Promise APIs?
No updates.
Okay. And I'm just looking, I think that covers all the strategic initiatives that we have people at. I don't know, Raphael, if you have anything on the security front you wanted to bring up or share.
Just the permission model implementation. I've fixed all the to-do list, so it's officially ready to go, or at least ready to review, a proper review. I have received tons of reviews from Colin, from Racing, Matteo. I'm working on 2 fixes right now, but once it's done, I think I finished the list and I can receive new feedbacks.
Okay. Okay, so at that point, that I think takes us to the end of the agenda. Is there any other business that people have for this week? If not, the one other thing we might ask is, do we think the meeting next week, enough people will be around to leave it on the schedule? I won't be able to make it because it's at one of the early times, but Matteo normally chairs those anyway.
I won't be able either.
I see one suggestion to cancel it. I'd be happy enough to do that, given that it's in the middle of the holidays for many people, but just want to know what everybody else wants to do. Any objections to canceling it for next week? Okay, if not, I think I'll go ahead and do that, and wish everybody a good, happy holidays if you're on holidays, and we'll see everybody in the new year. Thanks. Bye.